Hello everyone. Welcome to the second session of the poem My Mother at 66. In this chalk and talk session, I'll be discussing the structural and analysis of the poem, make an analysis of the poem. I will first start with the word meanings, although there are hardly any difficult words here. Still, I would just want to point out certain words which are used here. The first word we come across is doze, as we all know. D-O-Z, doze, is meaning a light sleep. Now, this word has been selected very wisely by the poet, You will find often old people, since they are exhausted with their toiling for the family, for their entire day's work. Maybe the poet's mother has got up early in the morning and made preparations for her daughters leaving for her workplace, and so she's a bit exhausted. So while she is traveling in the car, she has fallen off to sleep, but not a very tight sleep. It's dozing, okay, a very light kind of sleep. So the word doze meaning a light sleep. Next word that we come across is corpse, which I'm sure all of you know means a dead body. Now it's really very saddening to compare the mother's face, or the mother to comparing the mother to a corpse or a dead body, but then her face looks like that, and the poet makes no artificial effort to glorify her mother's beauty. For her mother, even in her exhausted state of her mind and in her exhausted physical state, she's as beautiful and important to her. Okay, so mothers need no glorification or beautification by her children. Mother in any form is mother and always dear to us. Okay, so here she makes a very frank comparison of her mother's face to that of a corpse. I'll come to the imagery part later. Next word that we come across is sprinting. The trees are sprinting. Sprinting means a short, fast running, okay, a race. And as you say here, you can also write receding, because usually when we move in a vehicle, the trees, the background, the landscape seems to run in the opposite direction. So the trees, they are sprinting as she is moving in the vehicle, in the car. Next word that we come across in the same line is spilling. This is also metaphorically used. I will discuss it later. Spilling means, as you all know, when a liquid is filled too much, it overflows. I mean, in the container is no more able to contain the liquid, it spills over. So spilling means overflowing. Another word in the next part of the poem is we get is van. W-A-N, van. Van and the next word pale, they are more or less synonyms, but van actually suggests more of exhaustion that is depicted on the face. Okay, pale color of complexion, suggesting exhaustion, exhaustion. Now there is a slight difference between van and pale. Paleness can come from fear also, but van is mostly from exhaustion. Okay? So pale complexion suggesting exhaustion. So these are more or less the words that we came across and we discussed it. Next that I will switch over is the figures of speech. Before that, I will just touch on the structure of the poem, which I also mentioned in the last session, that the poem is a narrative and it's an enjambment. Okay, I repeat, enjambment. What is enjambment? It's a continued sentence. The entire poem, as you will notice, has no full stop in between. It has only punctuation marks like commas, etc. So it's a continuous sentence. And another unique feature is the poem doesn't end, the last line, if you notice, smile and smile and smile, and then the poem ends with a few dots. So thoughts don't stop there. As she bids farewell to her mother, as she bids goodbye to her mother, her thoughts don't stop there. She tries to bring up that smile, that deliberate, that you could say desperate attempt on her part to hide her anxiety, her feelings, her real feelings. She just wants to bid a sweet farewell. Her mother should understand that she is happy. Okay, she is not sad while leaving. We all want to project that feeling to our near and dear ones when we leave, when we see them off. So while seeing her mother off, she pretends to show her that she is really fine. She is not anxious or she is not full of any anxiety. So she pretends to smile and she continues to smile and smile and smile as long as she can see her mother and her mother can see her. So that is how the poem ends in a very admirable way. Now, I was talking about other ornamental features, mainly the figures of speech. As you see, there are similes used here, especially to describe the mother's face appearance. The first one is her face ashen like that of a corpse. So ashen like that of a corpse. Now this is a direct comparison used by like. So this is a simile. This particular word ashen is also symbolic. Why? Because it's a very repulsive color. The ash is associated with death, with dead bodies, So it's an indication that the poet's mother is nearing death. She's growing old, she's exhausted, she's pale, and she's really frail now. Her physical condition doesn't give any guarantee that she will live long. So this particular word has been deliberately used, ashen. So this is a symbol used here. The young trees sprinting. Now, young trees, as we see, the adjective young denotes personification. It's a figure of speech where we add personal qualities to inanimate or objects which are not human beings. Okay, so young trees. Next, merry children spilling. Merry children spilling. Spilling again, as I have told you, the meaning is overflowing. So it's a metaphor used here. Metaphor is an implied comparison. Okay, where the comparison is not direct, it's implied. We're not using any word like or as. So, children spilling. Group of children coming out. The merry children, they are coming out of their house with a force, just as water comes out, overflows through a pipe. Okay, so children spilling, this is a metaphor used here. Once again, at the last end part of the poem, towards the end, you will find there's another comparison at her wan pale face as a late winter's moon. And another comparison we find here, that is simile, comparing the poet's mother's face to a late winter's moon. Now winter again is symbolic of the last cycle of the season, death, signifying death, end of the year, end of life. Okay, so that is also another symbol which is used here. Similarly, here is moon, comparison with the moon, and symbol winter, of death. Okay, so that is all about the structural part and the ornamental part of the